Hi everyone, this is Professor Marin here with another topic, that is angiosperms. This has been taken from chapter 3, subject biology for class 11. Okay, let's move on. So what are angiosperms? Angiosperms are nothing but the flowering plants. So जो भी plant जिसमें भी आप फूल देखते हैं वो सब angiosperms के अंतर्गत आते हैं. ये जो डिफरेंट वैरायटीज़ ऑफ फ्लावर्स हम जो देखते हैं दैट इज़ ड्यू टू को एवोल्यूशन ऑफ फ्लावरिंग प्लांट्स एंड पॉलिनेटर स्पीशीज सच एज बर्ड्स, बैट्स, इंसेक्ट्स एक्सेट्रा. क्योंकि ये पौधे पॉलिनेटर्स के ऊपर बहुत डिपेंड करते हैं, सो जिस तरह ये पॉलिनेटर्स का एवोल्यूशन हुआ है उसी तरह ये एंजियोस्पर्म्स का भी एवोल्यूशन हुआ है. Okay, earlier angiosperms were grouped into two types. So earlier we used to know only two types of angiosperm, that is monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Monocotyledons जिसमें सिंगल cotyledon होता है उनके सीड्स में, dicotyledons जिसमें दो cotyledons होते हैं. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल पीनट्स आपने देखा होगा, जब भी आप चना या मूंगफली खाते हैं उसमें दो कॉटलेडन्स होते हैं, सो दैट बिलोंग्स टू डाइकॉटलेडन्स. वेर एज राइस, जो चावल हम खाते हैं वो मोनोकॉट होता है, उसमें सिर्फ एक कॉटलेडन होता है, सो दैट बिलोंग्स टू मोनोकॉटलेडन. सो अर्लियर एज आई सेड एंजियोस्पर्म्स वर डिवाइडेड into monocotyledons and dicotyledons based on the morphological characters. But recently they are classified into three groups based on DNA analysis. ये कुछ नया है, तो please I want you to look into it, remember it. Okay, based on DNA analysis, or you can say based on phylogeny. So here they have been grouped into the magnolate complex, okay, where you can say magnolias and laurels come into picture, and monocots, and then you have the eudicots. So these are the three types of angiosperms which have been classified based on the DNA analysis or phylogeny. Then this is the basic difference. That's what as I said earlier, whatever they had been classified as monocot and dicot. Okay, so the basic classification is, as I said, monocots contain one cotyledon. यहाँ पे कौन दिखाया है, the मक्का. ओके, जिसमें जो कॉटलेडन होता है सिर्फ एक होता है. वेर एज डाइकॉटलेडन इट हैज़ टू कॉटलेडन्स, टू हाफ्स लाइक ग्राउंड नेट. Okay, then the roots are fibrous in case of monocotyledons, whereas here in dicotyledons they are mostly tap roots. Yes, so you can see the difference. Then the vascular system, here it is scattered, whereas here it is ringed. So यहाँ पे proper arrangement है vascular system का, whereas here it is scattered. Then here you can say the venation, जो लीव्स में जो वेन्स होते हैं, लाइंस होते हैं, ओके, वो पैरेलल होता है, मोस्टली पैरेलल होता है. वेर एज इन केस ऑफ डाइकॉट्स दे आर नेटवर्क लाइक, ओके, जैसे कि आम के पत्ते होते हैं वैसे. देन मल्टीपल्स ऑफ थ्री द फ्लावर्स, ओके, क्योंकि जो पेटल्स होते हैं वो 3 होते हैं या फिर 6 होते हैं या फिर 9 होते हैं, ऐसे मल्टीपल्स ऑफ 3 पाए जाते हैं. वेर एज इन केस ऑफ डाइकॉट flowers you can see 4 or 5, the number of petals. Then flowers in angiosperms contain different parts having specific functions. So flower structure हम यहाँ पे पढ़ेंगे. So typical flower has calyx. So जो सबसे बाहर का हिस्सा होता है उसको calyx बोलते हैं, okay, जो हरे रंग का होता है, and that is formed by the presence of sepals. So individual units are called as sepals. उसके बाद जो कलरफुल होता है, जो पिंक येलो, उन पत्ते जिनको बोलते हैं, मतलब फूल के पत्ते, दैट इज़ नथिंग बट द corolla. Okay, that is petals. The corolla is nothing but group of petals. Then you have androecium, that is the male sex organ, that is nothing but the stamen which contain anther and filament. And we have gynoecium, that is the female reproductive organ, which contain the pistils, or you can say carpels, which contain stigma, style and ovary. And within the ovary there is ovule, and within the ovule there will be the ovum or the egg, which is attached to the receptacle on a peduncle. So peduncle जो होता है वो डंडा होता है फ्लावर का, जिससे कि वो प्लांट के स्टेम से अटैच रहता है. So that's about the structure. I want you to have a look at this structure. This is a picture of a hibiscus flower, where you can see the different parts. So this is the outermost layer, okay, जहाँ पे sepals पाए जाते हैं, and group of sepals known as calyx. And then comes the corolla, where you can see the petals here. So group of petals is known as corolla. Then you have the androecium, which contains these stamens. Yes, yeah, and the stamen contains the anther film. Sorry, yeah, anther filament. Okay, which is attached to the base of the flower. Then you have the gynoecium. This is the gynoecium or the female reproductive organ, which consists of stigma, style and the ovary. ओवरी के अंतर्गत क्या है, ओव्यूल है. ओव्यूल के अंदर क्या होता है, एग्स होते हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ फ्लावर. Then what about the function of each structure of flower? Now the petals are usually large and they colorful and they attract insects, or you can say they attract the pollinators. Then sepals they protect the flower while in bud. जब ये bud या कली होते हैं तो जो पेटल्स के ऊपर क्या होता है कि एक ग्रीन कलर का कोट जैसा कवरिंग जैसा होता है. सो वो दैट इज़ नथिंग बट द सेपल. सो सेपल्स प्रोटेक्ट द फ्लावर वाइल इन बड. देन पीटियोल या फिर स्टॉक जो होता है, डंडा जो होता है, फूल का डंडा नीचे का. सो दैट सपोर्ट्स द फ्लावर टू मेक इट easily seen by the insects and to be able to withstand the wind. So ये थोड़ा फिजिकल सपोर्ट देता है. जोर का जो कोई हवा चल रही है या फिर anybody try to just shake the plant, it should not just fall off. So उसी के वजह से, so that is one of the function of this particular stalk. Then nectary it produces nectar, which again attracts the insects for and helpful in pollination. Then you have stamen. This is the male reproductive part of the flower, and it consists of the anther and the filament. Then anther, it consists of the the circular structure. I wanted to have a look at this particular picture. Okay, it is not that. I'll show you here. Yes, so this is the anther here. Yes, these consist of anther lobes within which the male gametes are formed, or you can say the pollen grains are formed. Okay, and within the pollen grains you have the male gamete. Then what about the filament? Filament again supports the anther. Then carpel is nothing but the unit of the female reproductive organ, okay, which consists of again stigma, style and ovary. Then stigma is a sticky part. जो यहाँ पे जो स्टिग्मा देख रहे हैं आप, सो जो है ये स्टिग्मा होता है, ये बहुत स्टिकी होता है जिसके ऊपर कि पोलन ग्रेन्स अच्छे से स्टिक हो सके, so that the pollen tube will be formed and further fertilization will occur. So that is the purpose of stigma. Okay, so that's about the plant flower structure. Then you have the style, which links the stigma to the ovary through which the pollen tube enters. तो इसी के अंतर्गत यहाँ पे अगर पोलन ग्रेन गिरता है तो इससे पोलन ट्यूब फॉर्म होता है, जो कि फ्लावर के अंदर तक जाके यहाँ पे जो एग होता है उसको फर्टिलाइज करता है. ठीक है. एंड देन यू हैव द ओवरी that contains the ovules which develop into seeds when fertilized. So that's the structure of flower. Now based on the structure you can differentiate the flowers into 3 types, or you can say 4 types, which can be complete flowers. So अभी जो आपने structure देखा वो complete flower का था, जिसमें all the basic structures are present, like the calyx, corolla, where is it, yeah, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So all these basic structures are present. For example, hibiscus. There are certain types of flowers which can be called as incomplete flowers. Okay, they lack at least one of the basic parts. शायद उसमें corolla नहीं है, या फिर calyx नहीं है, या फिर androecium नहीं है, या फिर gynoecium नहीं है. So कोई भी एक part absent रहेगा. For example, begonia. Then you have staminate flowers which lack gynoecium. So they are called again example is ziames. So ziames में आपको 2 तरह के फ्लावर्स मिल जाते हैं. एक तो स्टैमिनेट फ्लावर्स है जो मेल फ्लावर है जिसमें सिर्फ स्टेमन्स होते हैं, और दूसरा है कार्पलेट फ्लावर्स जिसमें जो कि फीमेल्स हैं जिसमें सिर्फ फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव यूनिट होते हैं. So these also come under incomplete flowers since they lack specific part of the plant or flower, sorry. सो ये है जियामेस जो मक्का होता है. ओके, इसमें दोनों तरह के फ्लावर्स पाए जाते हैं. सो दीज आर द वंस व्हाट यू कैन सी. यस, क्या, वेयर इज दैट, या. सो दीज आर द वंस विच these are nothing but the staminate flowers. Staminate मतलब कि मेल फ्लावर्स जिसमें स्टेमन्स होते हैं, whereas here these are the ones which you can see they are nothing but the carpellate flowers. Okay, so यहाँ जो ये सब होते हैं ये carpellate flowers होते हैं, that is female flowers. Then factors affecting flowering. So flowers जो form होते हैं वो कैसे form होते हैं या फिर क्या उनको affect करता है. Okay, the main environmental factor influencing flowering are the temperature and day length or the photo period. So this is not only about flowering, it also about the development of the plant. Okay, so the temperature here is one of the factor which influences the rate of development. It influences the rate of development and the number of flowers which can be which can produce mature seeds. Okay, then day length or it is also known as photo period जहाँ कि हम पौधों को लाइट को expose करते हैं. Okay, so they get exposed to the light, that's what is called as photo period. So how long do they get exposed to the light? So that plays a very major role. Okay, in with respect to flowering, it controls the growth and development of the plant as it affects photosynthesis and hence affects flowering. Then these are the different types of flowers, and you can see like how long do they stay in the light, okay, sunlight, and then what is the effect and what about the examples. So ये है type of plant. So based on the length of the day, length of the day which has been during which the flower has been exposed to the sunlight. So based on that we have three types, that is short day plants, then day neutral plants and long day plants. Short day plants, as the name indicate, they get exposed to the sunlight below 12 hours. Okay, then here the flowering during short days and long nights. So since the days are short, you can say the nights are long, and hence flowering occurs during short days and long nights, especially during late summers and springs and autumns जहाँ पे रात लंबी होती है. So उन टाइम्स में आप शॉर्ट डे प्लांट्स को फ्लावर करते हुए देख सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल क्रिसैंथेमम, एस्टर, सोयाबीन. Whereas day neutral plants here, day length does not affect the flowering. So यहाँ पे ज़्यादा कुछ effect नहीं होता है. So this is around like half of the day, that is around 12 hours. So 12 hours, so not much effect on flowering. Okay, and examples are tomatoes, roses, peas. So general normal flowering occurs here. Whereas in long day plants, what happens, the flowering occurs during long days and short nights. Since दिन जो होता है लंबा होता है तो रात obviously छोटे होते हैं, especially in summers. Okay, so flowering, there are special type of plants which flower only during summers, and here the photo period will be longer than 12 hours. For example, spinach, lettuce, radish, etc. So that's about the different types of plants based on flowering. Then pollination and fertilization, these two important processes are necessary and compulsory for the development of angiosperms. So angiosperms reproduce by sexual reproduction method. So the male reproductive organ are known as the stamens, that you know, which is present within the ring of the petals, and each stamen consists of two parts, the anther, which is the swollen part, I have already told you, and the filament. Okay, the anther is the one which contains the pollen grains. Yes, yeah, and these are nothing but these are the ones which actually give rise to male gametes. Then this is the structure of anther, and this has been cut. Okay, it's a section of anther here, where you can see lobes of anthers. Okay, so anther lobes होते हैं जिसके अंदर की pollen grains होते हैं, and this is the filament which is attached to the anther. So both together is known as stamen, that is the male reproductive organ. The female reproductive organ, which I have already explained, they are nothing but the carpel, which is present in the center of the flower and consists of three parts, stigma, style and ovary. So this I have already explained, so I am not going to continue with this. So let's move on. So that's about the sexual part, the male part and the female part, that is androecium and gynoecium. Now pollination. What is pollination? It is nothing but the transfer of pollen grains from anther onto the stigma of the carpel. Okay, or I hope you're understanding what I'm trying to say. So the transfer of pollen grains from anther onto the stigma of a gynoecium or the carpel, due to which the male gametes are able to combine with female gametes. So जैसे वो गिरते हैं स्टिग्मा पे, they don't combine immediately. There's a long process. So spores जो होते हैं पोलन ग्रेन्स जो होते हैं उनको जर्मिनेट होना पड़ता है, पोलन ट्यूब फॉर्म होना पड़ता है, and then the pollen tube will enter deep into the carpel, then it will reach the ovary, and then in the ovary it will reach the egg. So जो मेल गैमेट होता है वो ऊपर स्टिग्मा से लेके द पोलन ग्रेन्स जो हो इसमें जो होते हैं वो स्टिग्मा से लेके पोलन ट्यूब में जाते हैं, पोलन ट्यूब में जाके ओवरी में जाते हैं, फिर जाके अंडे से और एग से मिलकर वो फ्यूज़ होकर जाइगोट बनते हैं. ओके, so this is brought about by pollinating agents. So the pollination is brought about by pollinating agents like insects, like bees, butterflies, birds, wind, water, etc. So इसी तरह से और इनके वजह से pollination होते हैं. Now types of pollination, there's a type error, please TYPES it should be. Types of pollination, there is self pollination and cross pollination. So I don't want to just read here, I want to show you here. So this is what is self pollination, where the pollen grains of the anther of a flower is transferred onto the stigma of the same flower. That is what is called as self pollination. So again, the transfer of pollen grains from one flower to the stigma of the same flower or to another flower of the same plant. ओके, सो ये फ्लावर जो है वो उस एक ही फ्लावर है जिसमें एंथर से पोलन ग्रेन जंप होके या फिर इट इज़ ट्रांसफर्ड बाय द पॉलिनेटिंग एजेंट onto the stigma of the same flower or onto the stigma of another flower on the same plant. So that is what is called as self pollination. So पौधा एक ही होता है, so उसी में pollination होता है, that is self pollination. Cross pollination, where the pollen grains from anther of one plant, okay, from the anther of the flower of the one plant is transferred to the stigma of the stigma of the flower of another plant of similar species is known as cross pollination. So that's about the different types of pollination. I hope you understood. So that's about the lesson angiosperm. Thank you very much. Have a great day.